Decisions, it's pinstriping time. Weather's a bit against me today, which might sway me one way or another. Overall, looking at the comments on the last video when I mentioned it, most people said go for the decals. But for me, I'm thinking I wouldn't mind trying the paint. So I've got both. I've got the decals here, which is just going to be a case of trying to line up and put on. Or I've got this set up here. Now, a professional would use a squirrel hairbrush. This is like a fake one, I think. And something like this, one-shot paint. I can't do it by hand. Clearly, I'm not a pinstriper, but I have got this here, paint pinstriping stencil tape. I mean, that looks like it's been going for a few years. Hopefully this one here isn't, you know, been on the shelf for the last 20-something years, but it might well work. So the idea is you put the stencil on, you paint with this, you take the stencil off, and you're left with two pinstripes. So you can get them in all different shapes and sizes, just like these ones here. I've opted for whatever it is, I can't remember, like 4mm and 2mm or something, to try to mimic, or 3mm and 2mm, to try to mimic what the Rolls Royce had originally. Same with this one here. I can't remember which one I got, but that stock number means something. So I got the ones that would mimic the Rolls Royce ones the best. Now, I have used this stuff before. This is what sign writers use, or used to use. I suppose nowadays it's just probably mostly plastic signs, but sometimes you do see shops with lovely painted signs. I've used this once before, gold one of this, to paint my mum's tombstone. The grave, the gold leaf had come out of the engraved lettering, so I used some of this in gold, and it come out really good. Not quite as good as gold leaf, but really, really good. So it's very good stuff, and it does last the test of time, and I can vouch for that. So I don't know, I think I might see how sticky this is. I might start with this, see how sticky it is. If it's all failing, clearly I can't go for it. It needs to be super sticky so I don't get any bleed through. Because with this, if it goes wrong, I can peel it off and start again, or buy another one. With the paint, I'm going to probably ruin what I've already done. But I personally would prefer to do the paint because I think it would look nicer than a decal. Well, I've cleaned off just where the pinstripe is going. The rest of the car is still messy, but I've used a microfiber and also a tack cloth as well to clean those bits. I think I'm going to see what the stencil looks like. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Right. Tan stripes must be lifted with clear liner when unrolling. Must be lifted with clear liner when oh, so you put this on, and then when it's on, you then peel off the clear lining, and it leaves behind the tan stripes. And what you're going to end up with is the white paint's going to be in the clear bits. Well, that looks pretty nice, does it not? Well, I'm going to try to line this up with what's there already. It should be fun. Excuse my looks, I'm really cold, that's why I've got my hood up. Right, I can see where the old pinstripes were. So, but I was told in the comment section that these are not original. But it's going to be the big one at the bottom and the small one up the top. I just want to double check that. Well, looking at this here, to me they both look to be the same. I seem to remember the bottom one was slightly bigger than the top. Anyway, that's when you're buying the pinstripes, there's always a little bit of difference in size, the ones that I were looking at anyway, so I'm going to put the big one at the bottom. Now, I think the problem I'm going to have here is that the car is not straight, hence the reason Rolls Royce do it by hand, because the car's curving down ever so slightly as you get to the front. Right, so I think I'm going to walk along now to the front, see what it looks like in a straight line, and see if we can manipulate it up or down a bit. You know what, I didn't take this off here. Ah, annoying. Bear with me. Now, if you're joining this series on part 56, which is highly unlikely, and you've never seen my videos before, then you are not watching a professional at work. This is the same as maybe you attempting to do pinstriping yourself when you've never ever put decals on your car, or you've never attempted to paint any stripes on your car, full stop. That's the level I'm at. Hope you enjoy. Well, this is the hard bit here. Well, it's all going to be hard, but this bit has a curve in it coming down. So I think I'll have to do this with my hand. Not hand, but you know, just like this, rather than stretching it. Wow, it really curves down a lot. Oh, that front bit looks amazing. Oh, wow. Right, let me just cut it any old way just for the time being. Just cut it too long. Right, I'm definitely happy with this bit here, so I'm going to press this bit down hard. Now let's try to do this bit. That there I'm happy with. Actually getting excited. Oh, got a crink here. I'm going to cut through the middle here. And that will allow me to peel this off and redo this. Like that. Oh, this looks a little low, I think. It's one of those things where if you were maybe doing a van and you weren't trying to follow any particular lines, and it'd be quite easy to get it straight from front to back. The problem is on this car is, yeah, the front and back door are pretty straight, but when it comes to the rear wing, and especially the front wing, there is a big curve on it, so you can't just stick it at the back and then pull it all the way forwards. Initially when I put it on, I thought it looked quite good, until you start looking closer and you realise that is high in many places. So yeah, I just have to keep peeling it off and sticking it back, peeling it off and sticking it back, trying not only to get the right line, but also trying to get it straight as well. As you can imagine, well, maybe you can't imagine, it's not actually easy to do. The car's quite long and you want to get it as straight as possible while still following the curves of the car. Anyway, with all my sticking down and peeling back, the product does look great. It really is sticky. Annoyingly, it takes off some of the top coat off the paint where the old pinstripe was. So the rest of the paint seems to be okay, but on the front wing, for some reason, the paint didn't stick very well to the pinstripe. Maybe I didn't sand it back well enough. So yeah, it's I'm going to show you that bit now.
Haha.
Right, that was not easy whatsoever. Sometimes it can look fine from the side, but then you look at the front, it starts to do this. So I think I've got it looking okay. Annoyingly, I've had disaster where I was peeling off and peeling back on again. Then it took away a load of the clear coat, which is really, really annoying. So I'm going to have to do some repair there again on that front wing. I suppose maybe I didn't do a good enough key, or maybe I've sprayed it too much, not too sure. Anyway, the rest of it is on and I think it's looking okay. So that's it there. Going along here, I think it looks quite straight. So let's peel this off here and see what we're left with. I can't seem to peel the clear away from this. Ah, oh, come on. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to the front. I don't know how successful this is going to be, you know. Right, now, are they going to hold or not? Yes, you are. Interesting. Oh, look at that. Right, well, I get the idea of it, but in practice it's not that easy. But this is my first time doing it. Right, for all these bits I'm going to wear, because I don't want it to wrap round, you see. So I'm going to see if I can do this for Stanley blade. Now, if I was to use one of these to go across, that would stop the paint from bleeding, wouldn't it? So if I was to get this and put it here, there we go. Hopefully that might leave me a nice line. Yeah, there. I'd be happy with that. And then at the front maybe I can do a bit of an angle like this, and then at the back maybe the same again, so it looks like it's kind of prancing forward. Haven't left myself much room to play here really. If you had loads of this stuff, I suppose you should cut each one a bit long and get this bit sorted before doing the next panel. Can you hear the cockerel? Somebody's got a cockerel down here, which is an odd place to have a cockerel. Do you know, it's such a shame. It's all gone well apart from that bit there. That bit's going to cause me so much work, because the clear coat's all gone. Gutted. Well, I think overall I'm happy with the placement. So I did that one at that angle there to try to mimic the shape of that part of the light. And then these ones I've done relatively straight, but again in line with the panel gaps. Again, panel gaps. And this one I've done in line with the back here, like that. So yeah, I don't know, I think I had kind of high hopes when I first put it on, but now with that damage there, I'm thinking that maybe this is going to look awful. I'm just worried that I'm going to have a lot of bleed through because I've had these on and off quite a few times. I appreciate if you put it down once, paint peel off is probably perfect, but I have had them on and off a few times. Anyway, I'm going to go across them now, flatten them one more time, and then I'm going to get painting. We'll see what happens. Alright, so that's that squirrel hairbrush. Clearly this is meant for just doing it in one go. It actually might be too big for me to do here, but I'll see. I'll see. It'd be quite, I've never used a brush like this, so it'd be quite nice to see how it works. I've given this a good shake up. I guess the size of it is to load it up with plenty of paint. I don't need to do that, but you wouldn't want to run out halfway through you were doing your pinstripe. Right, I'm just going to give this a little mix. Oh, it's so white, it's beautiful. I presume you hold it at that kind of angle and drag it along. Oh, that's how you do it, and you see the paint keeps on coming. Oh wow, that would be hard to do freehand, it really would. Yeah, I do get it though. Can't do it, I get it, but I can't do it. I'm trying to flatten it down because I don't want it all bumpy. It's got great coverage, this paint. Covers really nicely. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Phew. Well, it goes on very, very nice, I must say. Okay, I'm going to do the other 4 panels now. And what I'm not sure about is, when do I peel it off? Is it best to peel it off when it's wet? Because otherwise, if it's dry, it might end up just taking the whole thing away from the car again. In fact, I think I'm going to take this off now. Would that not be the best thing to do? I think I'm going to take it off now because we already know how weak the paint is. You know, the top coat on the car. So let's take it off and see what happens. Using the Stanley knife so I don't smudge it all. Here goes. I'm gonna hold it down. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, because I cut it there. I'm gonna hold it down so hopefully there's less chance of it bleeding. Bleeding up, do you know what I mean? Oh my word. And I'm going to hold this one up. Let's see a bit of bleeding on that. Well, that's not too bad, but this is the one that's going to be the telltale one. Right, that bit looks awful, but it was always going to, because that's where the damage was. It's from this bit onwards. I'm curious to see. Oh my. Oh my. Oh wow, that's not too bad at all. It's just this bit that's gone wrong because of the you know, the damage before. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. There's a couple of little bits. No, that's a raindrop on there. There was a couple of little bits here that I just need to sort. They can be done when it's dry. Remember, this is without any work being done to it. Look at that. Oh, it looks so vibrant. This is where I need to do work, but that's okay. With a tiny brush I can just paint some grey on that. Oh my word, look at that. No, seriously, look at it. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Right, let me paint up the rest and then I'll unmask on video. The weather's a little bit against me. There's a few drops coming down. Oh my, I could almost wet myself with excitement. That looks phenomenal. So happy with that. I need to sort this bit out. It leaked a little bit just here. That's alright, when it dries I can worry about that. Oh my, it's amazing. Fantastic. Oh my, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, I think I'm becoming addicted to pinstriping. Oh, it's joyous. Imagine being able to do this freehand. That there is job satisfaction. Freehand pinstriping. It's hard enough with a stencil. Imagine the skill involved in trying to get a line that thin freehand, and for it to be that thin across the board all the way across. That there is an artist at work. Anyway, while I'm putting a bit more paint and peeling back this one, let me give a shout out to the My Mate Vince Massive, the top level Patreons. They are kipdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokatansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Rickard Bergland, Soul Reaver 555, the My Mate Vince Fan Club, Astral Red Panda, and Shamsa Al Savadi. Thank you so much. Well, I'm absolutely amazed at how well that has come out. Apart from the damage to the paint there, it is looking pretty much spot on. Now, clearly, it's not up there with Rolls Royce standard whatsoever. Remember, this could be possibly, you know, buffed back a little bit with T-cut or something, just to make it a little bit flatter. But I think this paint dries pretty flat anyway. So, I tell you what, it is as good as though when I bought the car. When I bought the car, I was told that in one of the comments that that wasn't the original pinstripe, and I think what I've done now looks as good as that. So for me, that is phenomenal. Honestly, I'm so happy with that. Oh my, it just sets off. Imagine when this is all clean and polished now, it sets off the white walls perfectly, and I love that little angle there. So yeah, I need to do a tiny little bit of work to it, but as it stands now, it already looks good enough, and I think when I do a little bit of work, I think it's going to look really good. And I think it looks pretty straight. Oh God, I'm so happy with that. Right, okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side now. I won't bother filming any of that. Hopefully next time you see it, the other side will be done as well. This sign painter stuff, this one shot, is an absolute joy to work with because it just takes one coat. I mean, that's a dark colour car and you're putting white on. You would expect it to have 2 or 3 coats before it covers. One coat and it is done. Now in my instance, I didn't really need to get an expensive brush like this. I think this was about £8, so you know, expensive as far as kind of brushes that I would buy is concerned. But clearly you need one of these if you're a pinstriper, but I'm not. I just used sticky tape to do it, so I could have used anything. But the good thing about this is that I can go about 6 inches before I have to do it again. While if I was to use a tiny little painter's brush, I'd only be able to go a couple of inches, and then I'd be doing it again and again. But with this, once you load it up, you can actually get quite a lot of paint in it, especially if you hold it at that angle. Remember, when this is full of paint, it goes more to a point. You hold it at that angle, and it really does just drag it along nicely and produces quite a flat finish, so that's good. So I've done both sides. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a little bit of the grey paint to fix up this bit here, because you can see there's some like white bits here from the old pinstripe, and then I think we are going to be done. Also, I just want to make good on a few of these end bits. You know, there's just a tiny little bit sticking out just here. I just want to kind of tap a little needle amount of paint just onto there, just to take my eye off that. But look at this side here. This side went perfect all the way. There was no problem. A, I was getting more used to it, and secondly, the paint didn't flake off, and I had to remove it numerous times. You're never going to get something like this in one hit, because the problem is you can get the doors in one hit. They're relatively straight. There's a right bend going on from here going down. You don't really notice it, but there is. There's a big bend from here going down that way, so it takes quite a few goes before you can do it. I think it looks fantastic. I'm so pleased that I didn't use the decals, because that there, I just like it much more. So you can see now, all the way down to the front. I think it looks really, really good. Really good. Look at that. Isn't it nice? Now maybe when I stand back and look at a car from a distance, it's not going to look as good, but certainly from here it looks fine. Maybe from a distance it would be like this. Woo! I don't know, I think it's going to be alright. And I love the way these have ended just here. I think they look good. It's a nice finish, you know. And the front, I think, just looks perfect. The angle just looks just right. I did the same this side as well. Can't tell you how happy I am with that. Look at that there. Looks great. So I'm going to just touch up this, make this nice here, and touch up the end bits, and then the pinstriping is complete. Right, because this is super small here, I am just going to be using I've got my can of paint down here, and a safety pin. I'm just going to be putting it in there, and I'm just going to be literally just tapping it on.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling. But all complexions that I adore, so hard to find, these seem impossible to score. So I dream on to someday find that vintage love.
I am done for today and done for this episode. So check it out. Even from a metre away, you can't really see where the repair was. From a foot away, you can, but it's not bad at all. It's this area here. So it looks all right, doesn't it? And what I've done is I've neatened up all the end bits. So it's all looking very nice indeed. And the other side's looking fine as well. So the pinstripes come out so much better than I thought it would. It really has. It looks great. Now, I can't see it from a distance. I'm not sure if the front bit's a bit wobbly or not. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but it might have gone off a little bit there. I kind of need to stand back from a distance and see what it looks like, but hopefully it will look fine. So yeah, I'm so happy I went with the paint rather than the little stick-on ones, because I don't know, it would have been painted originally, and I think it looks really well. So it's been a very, very good episode for me, because I've done the spraying. Yes, I need to spend another day buffing it all up. Hopefully when I do that, it will look nice. I also am going to get some metal polish on here and give all this a nice shine up, so that will come up hopefully very, very nice. I need to know what that is. Are they made out of, is it stainless steel? What are they made out of? Is that the same material as, for example, everything like this? Is it all stainless steel? Because it's got no signs of rust at all. While on chrome plated bumpers and stuff, normally they go rusty over the years. So if you could let me know what that is in the comment section down below. I'm going to say stainless steel, but I don't actually know that. And yeah, I've got insurance on it now as well. The insurance started at the end of March, even though we're now coming towards the end of April. So again, I got it a little bit too early. But yeah, £500, just under £500 for the year, and that includes business mileage as well. So 3,000 business miles, 3,000 personal miles. So yeah, not too bad. Expensive enough, but not too bad. Right, well, I will see you again very soon. Hopefully next time you see this, I'll have the inside cleared out, the boot cleared out. I've already put the spare wheel underneath, and hopefully then it will start to look more like a finished car, and then we can take it for an MOT. I'm not sure if that's going to be, well, it's not going to be the next episode. Would it be the episode after that? Maybe. We're very close now, aren't we? If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.